this program in India, you mentioned was in Bangalore, right?
No, the Bangalore is our design engineering center.
Right.
So our training center for skills is in Chennai.
In Chennai?
Yeah.
Right. Are we past the stage of unskilled labor? And is your area now is to equip them with a certain set of skill?
We have gone a little bit more than that. Basic skills. We are looking into training them into different levels of skill as well. Not just like I earlier mentioned in single skill and as well as dual skill, so that we will be able to minimize the idling time during the sequence of work, or we are upgrading them into different levels of skills development.
Right. The kind of skills that I'm critically short are like welders.
Well, there are certain skills that we are developing right this moment, of course at 4 levels, but the various skills are mainly welding, pipe fitting, electrical, instrumentation, and rotating equipment and equipment installation.
And all the workers have to be conversant in English. They have to read and write English at least.
This is a little bit of a challenge, but we are also educating them and giving them educating them in English, in language, so that in order to be safer, they must be able to understand and converse in simple English. In our industry, safety is very important. HSE, health, safety, and environment is a very important issue in our industry.
So the workers currently in Singapore, the ones that are from overseas, have to have some English language skills. Otherwise, they won't be able to work on Jurong Island.
Correct. We constantly, if those workers who are not very well conversant in working English, we further train them in the night.
Right. But of course, that will also create a new problem in the sense that those workers could be taken up by other companies once they get familiar with your business.
Well, I think being in the engineering service as a service provider, human resources are our assets. If we don't manage them, and should they ever move on to another company, that means we are not doing a good job. So I'm not worried about people poaching our workers. We should be confident enough that they are happy to work with us and help us to build our global workforce.
Right. Coming back to this Bangladesh training center, when do you expect that center to begin producing its first batch of workers?
We are looking at it presently. Maybe it will be in 1 year or so.
They have just started the class?
No, but right this moment, actually, they have already some existing facilities. But in order to build the workforce to meet our requirement, they will take some time to build a new premises for us.
Right. So.
But this is one of the resource. We are still looking at others.
Where else are you looking at?
Well, next will be perhaps in Saudi Arabia itself. Yeah.
Right.
So we have to train some of the locals too. That's a responsibility of an engineering contractor.
Or is this part of the
It is normally mandatory to do that. But to what level, it depends on the engineering service provider.
Right. And when you get the Saudi workforce ready, they could be deployed to other parts of the Middle East as well.
Could be all right.
Right. Kuwait and Abu Dhabi and Qatar.
It will be easier.
It'll be easier. Right. Okay. When do you expect that Saudi program to begin?
We have no plan right this moment. Probably it will be in one or 2 years' time.
Okay. Now, another challenge facing your business would be rising costs of fuels and materials. How are you coping with that? Because this has become a serious challenge for a lot of companies.
Well, material price rising is, of course, a major concern in our industry. We cannot deny that. But however, most of our projects are negotiated, and our clients share the risk with us because we do not tender the projects. Therefore, we are not exposed to all this kind of material price rising.
How do they share the cost with you?
It will be a cost plus. So we establish the steel price or whatever price, and in that case, if there is any up and down, they share the responsibility with us.
That differential.
The differential.
So if the price goes down, they get to share.
Likewise, because we are not speculators, so that is not our business, so we pass it on to the client.
Right. So that's how you hedge your position.
As for currency, when we tender for projects, we have our cash flow forecast, therefore we are able to hedge our currencies if we need.
Are you still using the US dollar as your base for quoting, entering the tenders?
Right this moment, as the projects are in Singapore, we are quoting in Sing dollars, so actually there's a little bit of advantage in that case for us.
And sometimes you buy materials in US dollars.
We do buy a lot of materials in US dollars, but now we are enjoying a little bit of benefits.
Currency gain.
Yeah.
When you go to the Middle East and China, you quote in local currencies?
No, mostly we quote, because in those countries they do not allow us to quote in Sing dollars, so we quote in US.
US dollars.
Partially their currency and partially US dollars. Or Euro. So it's up to us to select which currency is stronger.
Well,
we have the option.
Correct.
Actually.
If I were in the buyer's shoes in Saudi Arabia or in China, I would like you to submit quotes in US dollars, right?
Well, but that is normally is not the case. We'll build up the currency, different type of currency according to where we procure the material. So if it is the European products, then we will quote in Euro dollars, and this internationally accepted amongst our clients.
Right. So they understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
But whereas if you are buying in US dollars, then I think that is less exposure.
My last question would be the outlook on some of the projects that are taking place around the world. Oil is at record levels and still rising, and there are a lot of forecasts that it could go as high as $200 in the next few years. It may appear advantageous for an oil-producing country to have that kind of projection. On the other hand, when you want to implement projects, this escalation in fuel costs and material costs makes it very hard for people to tender, for engineers like yourself to, not only you, but a lot of other engineers to work on. What is the possibility of projects being delayed indefinitely or even cancelled as a result of problems like these?
Well, I think this is inevitable, that some projects will be delayed or might even be cancelled. But looking at at this present moment, the shortage of manpower and all the allocation of the steel mills, I don't think there's going to be a very big impact. Looks like it will be steadied rather than certain perks that we cannot cope. So I don't see that in the very immediate future.
But looking at the next 3 to 5 years,
that is what I'm talking about. The next 3 to 5 years. In our industry, we build a plant in 2 to 5 years. So that is the kind of projects that are, after 5 years, they might or might not have effects.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But the 3 to 5 years, that is the kind of period I'm talking about, where it's manageable.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
it's too late for actually now at the present moment. If you want to build a plant, it takes about 2 to 3 years, or some project even have delayed to 5 years. So it's not going to have any immediate impact on us.
But it's after that period.
After that period, that depends on the demand.
Okay, right. With that, Mr. Chia, thank you so much for your time.
You're most welcome.